I'm Kate Gallihugh, and I'm a wife, I'm a mother, I'm a daughter, I'm a believer, and I'm a transformation coach. I think in order to understand how I arrived here, it's important to understand where I came from. And I truly believe our life is shaped by the people within it. It's shaped by our experiences. And two of the most influential people in my life were my parents. I'm immensely blessed to have two of the finest human beings to raise me. And they were both award-winning educators in our public schools. They were mentors. They loved with their complete being. My dad, he would teach me the hard lessons in life. He would make me step out of my comfort zone. And even when I was a little girl, age 3, he taught me how to swim without floaties. He took me out when I was 16 years old, and he taught me how to drive on our slippery Michigan roads. He also made me make the hard phone calls and advocate for myself. And I hated it at the time, but the more that I reflect back on how it shaped me, it really stretched me to grow and learn to believe in myself. And my dad had a gift for just appreciating the beauty in everything and every person that walked the earth. And then there was my mom. My mom was raised by generations of prayer warrior women. She had a faith that was so strong. She attended Catholic school all throughout her K through 12 years, and I would see her on her knees morning and night, praying for me, praying for all the people in her life, and she planted that seed of faith in me very early on. She also was someone who taught me about diversity, equity, inclusion. She taught about cultural differences from the time I was little. She had a way of living holistically that set her up to handle a lot of life's challenges that were yet to come. It just was beautiful to watch her have gratitude for everything that she was given in life. And it taught me to appreciate the little things by seeing every day as a gift and just always striving to do my best. So many of the lessons that I now apply to my life today, I may have not appreciated as much when I was younger, but I treasure them today, and I'm doing my best to try to emulate that example for my own kids. I read about how eagles, when they teach their young how to fly, will pull out every bit of soft material from the nest. They'll lay their wings underneath their babies, under the eaglets, and they'll coax them out of the nest, and the eaglets will go tumbling into the air. The mother will swoop down and she'll catch them, but she has to make them uncomfortable first. And with time and with practice and failure after failure, those babies begin to fly. With time, I went on and completed a master's program at Central Michigan University and became a physician assistant. I worked in pediatric medicine for nearly 19 years, and that really allowed me to help people in their healing process and connect with children. I always lit up when I would be working with kids and seeing how I could help to shape tiny humans. It was something that I fell in love with. Shortly after I finished my medical training and began my career, I ended up falling in love with an old classmate of mine named Chad. When I started my relationship with Chad, it was effortless. I truly felt like I had met my soulmate, and the person that completed all the sides of me that maybe were areas where I struggled. He's the organizer to my chaos, and he is the timely one when I'm rushing in at the last second. He made me feel cherished. Chad and I were married on July 7th, 2007, and that was one of the greatest days of my life. I felt I was in the best shape of my life at that time. I'd worked really hard to just feel my best for my wedding day. I was marrying my best friend. I had the gift of my dad walking me down the aisle, and I will never forget the opportunity to dance with my dad on my wedding day. That's something I will treasure forever. Eight months later, Chad and I had just found out that we were going to have our first baby, and I was so excited to share the news with my parents. I was at home ordering some customized fortune cookies online that were going to reveal that we were having our first baby, and I was so excited for this surprise. And my phone was ringing, and at the time I was ignoring the call because I needed to complete this order, and I just figured it was a solicitor or something like that. And once I answered the phone, it was actually my mom. And she revealed the news that sadly my dad had passed away in the middle of the night on April 12th, 2008. And I just hit the floor. I didn't know what to say. I didn't have words. I felt so many different emotions. I felt angry. I felt completely distraught that the man who had taught me so many of these beautiful life lessons was not going to be a part of my children's life. At the same time, I was very grateful that I had him as long as I did. And I had learned along the line the perspective of our loved ones are a gift from God. When I became a parent, that is a time in my life where I did not want to fail. I wanted to do everything in my power to be the best mom that I could be. I had an amazing husband by my side who took the role of daddy like a champ, and he was such a pivotal contributing member to my role as a mom. As my kids started to grow up, around the ages of about 9 and 7, they started to participate in more activities like various sports. I vividly remember a game where my son was playing in the city championship. And there's a picture that was taken of me after they won the city championship. And he's standing there and he's holding his trophy and holding up his number 1 finger. And I looked at myself in that picture and I remember how I felt on that day. I had rushed from the pediatric office to the ball game. I hadn't eaten or drank hardly anything that day because it was such a busy work day. I was on call during that game, and I got 2. One was a lengthy consult about a young lady with an eating disorder, and I had to speak with her counselor in the middle of my son's championship game, and I felt so torn of trying to be wearing the mom hat and trying to be the PA all at the same time. And I didn't know how to separate those 2 worlds. And I also didn't like how I felt in that moment, and I didn't like how I looked in that picture. I remember I had a snag in my blouse. It was a completely disheveled shell of the woman that I remembered being. And that was a critical moment. I was so overjoyed for my son to have experienced this, to have a healthy child who was able to experience baseball, and to watch him experience that moment winning the city championship, but also feeling so strapped, so overwhelmed with all of my various roles I was playing that I didn't know how to fix it. And I decided to raise my hand for once and be accountable to someone else, and to be accountable to a community of people. I followed the Optavia program, and I realized that within this virtual community that I was placed into, that people were real. People were talking about addictions and grief and loss and trauma and all of these different things that really put my life into perspective. That yes, I was handling a lot as a mom, but these people were contending for their health, and why couldn't I? It inspired me. It changed me from having a fixed mindset to a growth mindset. I believe I had a model with the growth mindset that I had learned and the community that I had found, where if I could create some type of a virtual experience for parents and a virtual experience for teens and young adults, and put people into these authentic spaces, that we really truly could create an opportunity for hope and healing. I had this vision or dream to create this space where I could bring in professionals who could help give resources, but it's truly the members mentoring the members, and I was just one of them, to add value to one another's lives and to help teach each other how to thrive. A year after I had that vision, I had a conversation on the beach with a friend named Jeff Bateson. And I was just talking to him about, I feel like I'm supposed to create this, Jeff. And he said, Kate, I'm so excited about your vision. I wholeheartely agree, and I have exactly what you need to make it a reality. And after we went back home, we connected, and I met the Convene team, and I realized that the platform I needed to give people the space to learn and grow through experiential learning, which was the foundation of Convene, and to be able to be anonymous if you needed to be anonymous. And it is a place for connection. It's a place for community. We educate one another through our own stories and experiences, and we truly are helping one another to learn how to thrive. There's a picture of my son where he's walking into a field of corn, and it reminds me of the field of dreams. And in my heart, I just can't let that picture go, because I believe that if we build a space where every member's story adds value, where parents can connect with other parents, where kids can connect with other kids, and they can receive mentorship and support and encouragement, I believe they will come. And I'm so excited because I don't have to do this by myself. It's not the Kate Show. I am just the blessings connector to bring all these beautiful people together and these resources together to help people thrive. And I can't wait to see what we're able to accomplish in this space. There's peer-to-peer mentorship happening, there's groups forming, and I believe it's going to be a beautiful and powerful space.